Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to talk about practicing. Kind of a boring subject if you aren't very serious about the game. But recently, I've been doing really well, but I lost about 100 MMR over the past couple days, and a lot of it is the same kind of reason. I'm doing a lot of potato leagues, and it's like I'm not scouting, or I'm not making probes, or I'm not, utilizing this, or making bad decisions, and it's not necessarily like just one race. Like I'm doing really fairly well in at least Terran and Zerg, but I'm making the same overall mistakes and everything. So I really wanted to take a look at how I played, and I wanted to fix a lot of the garbage that I'm doing. So just kind of to give an example, if we look at games I played 1v1 over the past couple weeks, so let's just look at this game. So 121 APM from me, 118 APM. I feel like I'm playing decently quickly, but a lot of it's just random clicks, and it's not being utilized very well. And I need to be able to play faster, but it's all about where I'm looking. So I just played a game where I hit 113 APM, and I was trying my hardest to not like spam or do anything differently. I'm just trying to improve what I'm looking at. And it's not so much about what this click is either. I'm trying to, for example, my workers, I'm trying to get workers as absolutely as quickly as possible, never stop that production until 66. For upgrades and things like that, I'm trying to make sure that my upgrades are always consistently moving forward. I'm trying to make sure that I'm utilizing my production buildings as much as possible. So I'm also changing up all my hotkeys and everything like that. So I've been practicing all morning, and I kind of wanted to go through how I'm practicing. So I've played a whole bunch of just custom games today, and over the past 2 hours here. Tried some custom games versus some AI, and then I did this just against an elite AI, 438 APM. But I wanted to just try to do some new things. So let's kind of talk about how I practice and what I'm going to be working on. So there are 3 big points about what I'm working on here, and that's accuracy, precision, and technique.
Good luck. Have fun.
So let's talk about each one of these right now. I'm just going to keep it on my camera and kind of chat about this. But accuracy, precision, and technique. So my accuracy is being able to do what I want to do without over-clicking. So let's just go back a little bit. These little things like here, okay.
Good luck. Have fun.
So you'll see right up here. Setting my camera hotkeys, which is great. Then I grab a probe. Click, 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 click. So the first click I did was I clicked way up here, and then I adjusted it back down to here. Now, that's a misclick. My accuracy is bad with my mouse. So I'm trying to set my hands in a proper position with my technique. I'm trying to readjust and kind of replay so I don't go click, 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 click here and move all this garbage around. I'm just trying to go from this spot, select a probe, jump over here with my hotkey, click it to where I want it to go. That's only 2 actions, but I want to get it like robotic quick. So that's the kind of thing I'm working on right now. And just these little accuracy things. So the next thing I'm working on is precision, and to be able to basically do the same thing every time, right? So the same actions give me the same exact results, and the accuracy is doing the results that I want them to be. So kind of example is, this is a 9 adept push that I want to hit at 5 minutes and 30 seconds. So a precise build would be me always hitting at like I'm hitting the same time every time would be a precise build. But if it was accurate or not, that would be, am I hitting at 5 minutes and 30 seconds, or am I hitting at 6 minutes? So a precise build is maybe every time I'm hitting at exactly 6 minutes. I have this precision where I know, okay, exactly at 6 minutes is where I'm hitting. But I'm doing a lot of poor actions, which is giving me extra time, and I'm not accurate on my timing. And in order to correct that accuracy and to get down to the timing I want, I need to fix the technique that I'm using. So there's a lot of things that I'm trying to do to play better. And my biggest issues I always have are supply block and my macro, in my overall macro. So I was watching a lot of pros and listening to a lot of people talk about their macro. And basically, what I'm going to be working on is I just wanted to play this game and try to be as to do as little as possible. I didn't want to like super click like I was just doing there, like move over here, move over here. I'm just trying to get my build order a little bit memorized right now so I can put the same pylons in the same spots every time. Like, am I going to put this here? Like, I actually thought out loud about every pylon that I'm putting down. Where am I going to put that pylon? And just put it here, and then throughout the game, look at, is this a good spot? Or is this a bad spot? So personally, right now, I found out that while I was playing this game, this was a bad spot because this circle here, when I hit my F1 hotkey, it brings me to about right here on the screen. Now I can build a building anywhere around here, but there's all this dead space down here which I can't use. So I think maybe this second pylon's always going to go towards the top gas. I'm going to put it by the gas so I can put a shield battery in my main base if I want to, or I can wall off if a Zerg is coming up the ramp or something like that with another pylon, or, you know, just whatever. But I think I'm going to put it up here so I can have, you know, this whole room open and available. Another thing I'm trying not to do is scroll like this too much. If I want to move somewhere, I want to click, or, you know, I guess I can do one of these, but this is still pretty inconsistent. I would rather just click on the minimap where I want to look. Here. This is going to help my mouse accuracy, so I try to click in the middle of these. So one exercise I do is I click in the middle of all of the mineral patches to try to get my mouse accuracy up. Or I'll click this circle here and then a mineral field as fast as I can. I like do a couple of these. Click, 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 click. So I'm overshooting and I'm undershooting. So my mouse accuracy, I need to practice. I don't have a very clean mouse accuracy. I might have to clean it up a little bit or mess with the settings a little bit until I get it to where I want it to be. So I'm really trying to get detailed with all these little parts. But let me keep kind of just walking through this build, getting a little bit too detailed. But accuracy, precision, and technique. So if I don't get all three of them right now, I'm not going to be able to really improve in the future. So I've played about 1,700 games on the ladder right now as all three races, not individually but together. I've played almost 2,000 games, or about 1,800 games on the ladder, and I have a lot of bad techniques, and I'm trying to improve that so I can play faster and play better. So another thing I'm doing is I'm changing my hotkeys up. So while I'm trying to play these games, I'm just trying to play as clean as I can and to not float as many minerals. But I'm also trying to use my new hotkeys. I'm trying to be more aware of the minimap. I'm trying to be more aware of my supply. I'm trying to not overclick and just click around. I'm not trying to put things in random spots. I'm trying to put things in logical areas that I can do. I'm trying to use proper techniques so I can use I can have the right mouse sensitivity and things like that. So all these things that I'm trying to work on as much as I can, I'm doing it all right now in these practice sessions, and I'm probably just going to keep harping this for a few weeks, I think, until the next season. Probably about 2 weeks. I won't play any ladder. I'm just going to try to clean up my technique with each race, and that's going to be my objective for next season. But the problem is when you change up how you've been playing for 1,800 games, it starts to it gets worse before it gets better. It gets much worse before it gets better. So I'll show you right here. So like right now I'm just focusing on always having probes being made until I'm at 45 probes. So I'm at 40. Once I'm at 45, I have this little warp in that I do with the adepts. I get my third, I start making immortals, and then after that I like hammer out probes as much as possible. So I'm really trying to do everything, but thinking about so much stuff at once, it's hard. But I figured if I just do as much as I can now, try as hard as I can right now, I will improve in the future in one big swoop. I'll just get better. I'll just get good eventually. So I have to keep working on it. But some of the things I'm doing is there's something called tapping, where for macro players, this is something that Day 9 usually does, and he suggests a lot, is you have some upgrades and things like that on a hotkey, so you can always see if your upgrades are moving, and you have all of your kind of production on, so you can make sure that all your production's always being used properly every time it's available, if that's what you're going for. Protoss a little bit different. So what I started to do is, instead of using the warp gate hotkey for Y, which I have it set to on my keyboard, is just I had it set to Y and I was using it like that. I'm using it on a actual hotkey now with all of my other production. And the reason is because in the next patch these are going to turn auto into warp gates, so I don't need to really do that anymore. But I want to have the ability to kind of I want to have the ability to how do you say, to macro properly, to be able to look at my production and be like, okay, I'm not making anything out of my robos. Why? My robos are finished. Why am I not making anything? Or to be able to look here and say, okay, my Twilight's still researching something, so maybe I should chrono it. Or once I get my forges, I'm going to hotkey them onto my Nexus, so every time I make workers, I can see, am I making workers? Are my upgrades all moving? And I'm here, am I making my high tier units? Are my warp gates going down? How many warp gates do I have right now? Just these constant reminders that I'm just going to hit 4 and 5, 4 and 5 during the game like this while I'm playing. See, okay, what's going on? So right now, okay, I'm making workers. I'm able to warp in. I'm not using my Stargate. It's just not part of my build anymore. I'm hotkeying these forges in, and I can start upgrading them from here now when I'm making workers. But this here takes a lot of work, and it's something I've never done before. I don't have the APM to scout anymore. Like, it's getting to the point now where I'm adding just a couple things. Just adding these and actively looking at these and hotkeying these and trying not to use Y and trying not to, like, just box, like, instead of boxing a drone like this drone, if I want to select, instead of going click, just to click it. This is, all these little things are going to help my mouse accuracy. When I'm in a big fight later on, when I get up into like maybe Master League or something like that, when I want to go and, okay, so here's their big army. I see that he has 3 sentries. I want to just go click, 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 and I can click these 3 sentries very easy without, misclicking or anything like that. I can just go, click, 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 A move. So like select, click, 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 A move, then jump over it, jump through my cycling. Oh, I'm not researching anything on Twilight. Do I want Blink? No. What about the Templar Archives? Is my Templar Archives finished? No, it's very close though. It's green. It's almost done. How is my gateways? Gateways are almost finished. They're almost online. Like, just by clicking here, I can get so much information. Okay, now I can make Templar Archive. Do I want Storm? Do I need Storm? What about this? Okay, my gates are on the yellow. They'll be done almost soon. I have no robo facility. I'm not using these gates right now. How's my supply? How's my food? My mini-map of awareness? And this is all, I'm not looking at this part of the screen, like, at all. Like, this whole portion right here, I'm not looking at it most of the game. I'm looking down here and down here. I'm not making any workers. How many workers am I on? 65? That's just about right. How's my map vision? Okay, I've got an Oracle over here. I can see what he's doing. I've got a probe over here. I see that he's taking this base. I don't know what he's doing over here, over here. Do I have a Phoenix? Where is my Phoenix? The Phoenix is scouting around in this area right here, so I can see if he's taking any of these bases in the middle. I've got my Phoenix doing that. So I've got this map awareness, but I'm not looking at the map. So these are the kind of things that I'm looking at when I'm trying to practice, and maybe I'm doing too much. So right now I'm even sending out an adept to all these spots, so I can, get some more information on the map and just kind of be aware of what's happening. So seeing that he's taking these bases, and I'm just not looking at the map. So what I'm trying to do with this is set some rules for myself. So first rule is I have new hotkeys, where I'm not just going to have my whole army on 1 anymore. Spellcasters I'm going to remove. I'm going to control them separately. This is going to be important for when I get up into higher leagues. I have to put my scouting on 6. I'm going to start doing that. My production for workers is also going to have my production for upgrades. My production tab is going to have everything, including gates. This is going to be for Terran as well. And I'm going to set a rule for myself where every time I make a unit, every time I make a round of units, I have to look at the minimap and I have to look at my supply. That's going to be my first rule. So after I get comfortable with these new supply groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So upgrade's done. I don't even need to jump over here. I can just click 4, tab. I use grid, so it's QW. On these two bad boys, just QW, bop, bop. And I can start these two up really quick while I'm in the middle of a fight. I can be looking here. I can just go 4, tab, QW. Hit 1 here, hit 3, storm. Then I can jump back with camera hotkeys over here. Make sure I'm chronoing my new upgrades, blah, blah, blah. Check the minimap. So I have the ability to think about what I want to do. I just can't do it quickly. Like I'm running 103 APM right now, which is, I think, pretty good. But I'm not doing a lot of things. There's still a lot of things I'm not doing very well. So rules I'm going to set for myself every time I make a unit. Check the minimap, check my food. Just make a round of units. I make a bunch of probes, minimap, food, or maybe it'll be make a round of workers, and then when I start up, when I get through this, check the minimap, check my food. And just doing that is going to be, okay, I don't get supply blocked anymore. I'm not going to get surprised as much. I still think I'm going to get surprised, but it's going to help me control my units more. I'll be able to do more double prong attacks. I mean, I'm not even using these 6 immortals in my fight over here, and I'm still doing well. Got 13 immortals altogether. So I just kind of wanted to give you this idea about what I think about when I'm practicing and how I guess I overthink it. So the big 5 points I want you to take away from this and try it on your own. Try it on your own is accuracy. So not just boxing everything, but being deliberate with every single action you do. And then precision. Every time you do your build, do it the same way. Same things in the same spots, put the pylons down at the same supply every time, make the same number of units, saturate your base at the same time, and obviously you have to be scouting, but I mean just for a practice, it's good to have that kind of muscle memory. Then technique, make sure that you're using proper technique by your, use as much control groups as possible. I don't want to have to flip around with all my camera keys all the time to come back to my bases if I don't need to look here. If I can just hit 4, use this to macro, then I can click here, use this to macro as well, then double click 1 and then go micro a little bit, I'll do that. So technique, then it's minimap awareness and supply awareness. So those 5 things: accuracy, precision, technique, minimap awareness, and food. Just think of those 5 things and see how much minerals you float while you're trying to do all this. So kind of talked a bunch through this. There's a lot of things I'm thinking about. I've been playing all morning, so my mind's racing right now while I'm trying to speak. But if you just try to do all those things, and then for the last kicker, try to keep your money at the end of the game. Try to keep your your average unspent resources under 500. That would be, I think that would be a very good target for you to keep going. My average was 1,000, which is much worse than it usually is. Just for reference, last time I played and I won a 1v1. It was under 500. Yeah, so this is where I usually play when I'm doing like my actual ladder maps. Is I keep it under 500, but I'm not doing all that other stuff we just talked about. So putting it all together, trying to get good. If you have any questions or comments, I would love to hear it. But yeah, leave a message down below or leave a comment, or find me on StarCraft 2. I'm on North America server, and let's get good together. I'll invite you to the Gooder Clan. Alright guys, good luck, have fun. Thanks for watching.